Folks, this is Jake Davis with the video for you today, and this is my co-host, Annie Bell Rose Davis. Annie, say hi.
Hi.
She's so cute. This isn't really gonna be. I thought about doing a top 5. Isn't really even gonna be a soap ops or anything like that. But I wanted to do a video about, since I'm doing Halloween videos this month. Do a video talking about women in horror films.
Women and tall theaters.
In horror theaters, yes. From performances to scream queens to final girls and sirens and monsters and directors and producers and even concepts. I don't know how much of this I'm going to cover, but yeah, let's talk about some of this stuff. First off, I guess I can't really start anything without talking about Jamie Lee Curtis. Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode played the character in, I believe it's 5 films? Yeah, 5 films and another one in the works right now. She's the most famous scream queen. You know, she was the innocent, shy babysitter who had to step up and stop a deranged killer. Yeah, sure, they've done all kinds of stuff with the character since, but, you know, truth is she's always come back to that. Neve Campbell, Neve Campbell is Sidney Prescott's one of my favorite. Scream queens in movies. It's one of my favorite female heroines ever in movies. She's smart and determined and what's the word I'm looking for? Cunning. She's just a really good character, great performance in all 4 films. And the truth is, she's one of the only things I like about the sequels. Jennifer Kent's The Babadook. I've praised it many, many times over the last 5 years. I think it's one of the best horror movies ever made. Her script and her directing and, you know, the use of shadows and sound and what you don't see is even more terrifying than what they show you. It's a masterpiece, and it's really something to be experienced. Dee Wallace was probably the top scream queen when I was a kid. Pretty much because, you know, E.T.'s not a horror movie, but, you know, E.T.'s a monster, and technically is a movie monster. And between the Howling and her performance in, you know, Cujo, and her small performance in The Frighteners, which she was terrific in. And it's also, I loved her work in 3 from Hell from earlier this year. Easily my favorite thing about that movie. Jesus. The Buffy the Vampire Slayer, I always thought was what a great character. What I've seen, I didn't see a lot of the TV show. I've seen probably a lot of the show. But, you know, it was on for so long, there's so many episodes, you know, really in comparison, you know, I've seen maybe like 2% of the series. And, you know, yeah, man, great character, great performance by Sarah Michelle Gellar. But it's really often overlooked how entertaining that film was, the 1992 film, created by Joss Whedon. I can't remember if I'm pretty sure he didn't direct it. But yeah, Buffy the Vampire Slayer was original, hysterical, a really, really fun movie, and a very smart character. Barbara Crampton is also kind of a beloved scream queen, who's really just known for a couple of movies. Nobody really. People talk about Chopping Mall now. But that's just, it wasn't a popular horror movie when I was younger, you know. And Reanimator's a classic. It's a masterpiece. Great character she plays in there. There's those crazy action horror flicks, badass chick movies, the Resident Evil and Underworld movies. They're awful. They're awful. But they got, they're kind of fun. They're a little fun. Jessica Ross in the Happy Death Day movies. She did a great performance. And not just for horror films, but that's just a hell of a good performance. Great work of developing a character and making the character sympathetic and layered. You know, she can be funny and emotional and terrified and jump around in these different emotions and different settings, and really you not feel like the character's just what she needs to be for the sake. Feels more well-rounded than that, and that's a lot has to do with Roth's performance. She's really excellent in the Happy Death Day movies. Gosh, you in that movie. Alma Hitchcock was such a. I mean, she was Hitchcock's muse. I really think it was kind of ridiculous how the film Hitchcock. Can I talk? What you talking about? The Angry Birds movie. I'm doing horror thing here. Do you have anything to say about Alma Hitchcock?
No.
I didn't think so. Anyhow, yeah, I honestly think the movie was a little. I mean, I loved it. I thought Hitchcock was terrific, but at the same time, it's not like I thought it was a little ridiculous. Like she has the idea to kill off Marion earlier in the film. She has the idea to do the shower scene the way they do it. It's just like, so you're basically just saying, yes, he was a great filmmaker, but his wife had all his good ideas. You can't really have it both ways. You just farted in my video. Are you happy?
No.
I put a baby fart warning on this video.
Nuh-uh.
Elsa Lanchester is probably the most recognizable female horror character performance as the Bride of Frankenstein. She went on to get nominated for an Oscar like 25 years later. I don't think, was it that long? But yeah, she was nominated for Witness for the Prosecution. Great movie. And terrific performance in it. I was never a fan of the show, the X-Files. I just thought it was so awful. But while I was preparing this list, I got to thinking, I don't know if any actress has ever spent more time or done more work, put out more material playing a role. Stop farting my video. As I don't know if any actress has ever put in more material for a character than she had for her performance as Scully. Can't remember Scully's first name now on the X-Files. I mean, show was on for I think over 10 years. And, back then, when you didn't get the bullshit you do now, like, 10 episodes every year and a half, if not longer. No, I mean, it was traditional stuff, 26, 30 episodes every season. And that's a lot of time to play as a character. A lot of stuff to put out there. I don't know if anybody in the world of horror has spent more time with the role. Just some interesting thing I wanted to point out. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. I mean, come on, man. You gotta love her. You gotta love her. She was a throwback, if not really the last, actually I guess more of the last gasp of those kind of things. I mean, we still have horror personalities, but they're dudes, the dudes like, James A. Janice and James Rolfe every year or every week, in Janice's case, do stuff about horror films. But, it's the presentation is themselves. It's not stuff like you would get with, like, Paul Bearer or with Elvira, or that kind of stuff. They got something really wild and wacky back in the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s. And even to the 90s with the weird redneck that would host, what was his name? Joe Bob something, maybe. But yeah, he was great. He didn't really play it for scares, but he was still definitely a character. And yes, James Rolfe is the angry video game nerd, but the angry video game nerd doesn't do his Cinemassacre shit. But I digress. I love Sherry Moon as Baby Firefly. Move your damn feet. Baby Firefly in the first two House of a Thousand Corpses films, but I really felt in the third film her gimmick was really played, and maybe even a little obnoxious.
Both?
When I saw Urban Legend in theaters as a teenager, I thought it was really cool that that a chick was the killer at the end, and I did think
a killer chick.
You're weird. Yeah. What was I saying?
Dad, a killer chick?
Yes, thank you, Annabelle. I was talking about a killer chick. Killer chick in Urban Legend. I thought it was kind of cool, but it's not really that good of a movie, despite its very impressive cast.
It's called The Killer Chick.
No, it's not, but that's a good idea for a horror title. It's a good one. I love the great collection of performances from women over the years on American Horror Story. From Sarah Paulson, who's just amazing every season. Great work from Jessica Lange. From Emma Roberts and Kathy Bates and Angela Bassett. Just really good performances in multiple seasons from many, many women. Lily Rabe. And I know people who really hated Allison Pills on Colt, but I thought she did fine. I know a lot of people didn't like that season at all. Your Next was, I mean, I understand why people like that movie. I don't like Your Next, but as a concept for a horror film, it was kind of brilliant. Your typical kind of slasher, middle of nowhere setup, but neither thing on either side of the coin is really exactly the cliche traditional. It's not a mad slasher, just randomly killing people. It's this calculated, kind of really disturbing hit assassination thing going on with these brothers trying to wipe out their family for the sake of their inheritance. And on the other side of that, the final girl isn't your typical innocent, virgin, good-hearted final girl. She's she's a good-hearted innocent, but she comes from a family of survivalists. So she's smart and she's tough and she's determined and she's got grit and all that kind of stuff. And from the first scene, where shit starts to go wrong, that's shown. Now, to me, on a personal level, I kind of felt the movie was close to great. Close to great, but at the same time, I didn't overall enjoy the movie. Pretty much just because I felt that it was, for what they were trying to go for, it was a little too heavy-handed, a little too, not so much hardcore, it was just a little too dark. I think the movie would have benefited a lot from a little bit more humor. And I also kind of feel like sure, she survives, at least from what we see from the end of the film. She survives the whole thing. She is able to stop the brothers, but no one else makes it. It's not like she stopped their plan in any way, other than, they're not going to inherit, but this whole family gets wiped out. It's really disappointing, and now she wants to watch Kill Count. I've been all over this list, and just some of the other stuff. Throw off like Adrienne Barbeau, great scream queen. Jessica Chastain's amazing work in Crimson Peak. The legendary ending from Friday the 13th. The real killer's a sweet old lady. I love all the work from pretty much any woman who's ever played Morticia Addams. Did a very, very good job. Chick got bit? No. Sigourney Weaver. Sigourney Weaver as Ellen Ripley. I mean, an inspiring role, great performance. One of the few times a woman got nominated for an Oscar for a horror action sci-fi film. But how many of those are there? Mwah. And speaking of Oscars, stop that now, okay? I can think of at least 4 times a woman has won an Academy Award for a horror movie. Kathy Bates for Misery, Jodie Foster for Silence of the Lambs, Natalie Portman for Black Swan, and Ruth Gordon for Rosemary's Baby. And that's great. That's really, really great. And other stuff like, I love, of course, I praise Samara Weaving's performance and character in the film all around. Ready or Not, that's really great. You look tired, baby girl.
I'm not.
And, one last thing was mentioned. I thought Gina Phillips was terrific in Jeepers Creepers. It's kind of a shame I didn't ever really see her in anything else, but she was really, really good in that. Anyhow, this is my long video talking about rambling about females. That sounds more disrespectful than women. Women's work in movies. Hope you enjoyed my video. Hope you liked my rambling, and I hope you liked her morbid rantings over here. I'm going to point out something real quick. Recently, or like the other night or whatever, somebody made a comment, didn't understand why my channel on YouTube even exists because it's like not 2005 or whatever. Well, to tell you the truth, the reason my channel exists is because I wanted a YouTube channel. I didn't need any other reason. I told you guys before, I'm kind of a weird person. I don't do crossword puzzles or really play video games. I kind of come up with my own crazy elaborate stuff to keep my mind busy. And I've been writing reviews for a very, very long time. So I decided, why not start doing this? And yes, it's super cheap. It's also super demonetized, or not monetized, or not cheap at all. I mean, it's not really cheap if there's no budget. Anyhow, yeah, I do love having this channel, and I love doing these videos, and I appreciate every single view and reaction I get from people, even though I don't care if they come or not. Anyhow, I'm Jake Davis, and I'll catch you on the fly.